an intent of US President Donald Trump that remains unfulfilled. This is vendetta that is at play. It's not just pure economics, but it's a political tool that is being used against India. The 50% tariffs that have been imposed, these punitive tariffs, more like penalties to dissuade India from buying Russian oil, while Trump cozies up to China, while Trump cozies up to Russia and President Putin, as we saw at the Alaska summit. So why is India being singled out?
Thank you, Megha. Thank you for having me on this discussion. This is a very important discussion. It was very good to meet you recently. It's a recent phenomenon. The fascination with Pakistan, the fascination with that very rabid and Maulvi general who's calling himself Field Marshal, now nominated himself as Field Marshal Asim Munir, plus the possibility to have the access to the cryptocurrency exchange and whatever so-called or imaginary rare earth minerals, and access to again maybe imaginary or so-called oil and other deposits and trillions of gold deposits, whether they are there or non-existent, one will know very soon, and whether they are under any control of Pakistan or they are in Balochistan and Pakistan is not able to access it, will also be known very soon. The other aspect is that yes, they are trying to intervene or interfere in the regional matters, and India is a country which has had its very strong position on that for a long time, and I don't think that is going to happen very easily. And for somebody to even think of inviting the Prime Minister of India to talk with this sort of person who's totally Islamicized and Islamist, and he's not even a politician, he's an army general. So those are things can happen only with very poor understanding of diplomacy, very poor understanding of protocol, and these things never come to pass with India. So I think with the elections coming up now in November 2026 and the economy of US, if the inflation increases, if the joblessness goes up, if the already the deficit is touching $36 trillion, which is quite beyond control. If that worsens, and if the people start feeling the pinch even more, they're already feeling the pinch in terms of the gas prices, in terms of the electricity bills, and if they start moving away from voting for the Republicans, and they either sort of don't want to vote, or they vote for the Democrats, then the whole administration is put into peril, because if they lose the House of Representatives, because they're a very slender majority, and they have an even thinner majority in the Senate currently, so the chances of it happening by November 2026, if it increases, automatically they'll have to change track. They will realize that what they're doing, while it is absolutely imbalanced, the way they are talking, like you said, tariffs of 50% on India, when you yourself are importing items from Russia, items that you need. The European Union is importing items from Russia, and if it has to be a fair, level playing field, you should be imposing sanctions or tariffs with the higher levels of tariffs on the entire European Union. You should also place tariffs on yourself. If you are going to be saying the argument is that you are buying oil from Russia, so we are going to have penalty level of tariffs on you. Now, from the Indian perspective, to have 50% tariffs places you out of the market. So whether it is 50% or it is any other percent above that, it does not matter really, because you are not really in the competing range. So for India, the policy that they have to adopt is to just not react. Just let them do what they want, because they will be in a corner very soon. They will have to come to India. They will have to talk to India. They will have to understand India's concerns. They will have to realize that India is the biggest, most populated country in the world, with 1.5 billion people, with demography aspects, with development requirements, and they'll have to be much more sensitive to the requirements there. and then they will talk, and then India can start reacting. Right now, there is no point in even talking or reacting.
Yeah.
And it is good that we are not having any further discussions because it is not going to lead anywhere.
Also,
Thank you.
also,
Thank you,
also,
Megha.
also the fact, there's been a comment that has been made. This information has come just a short while ago. The Treasury Secretary of United States of America, during an interview, has said that both America and India are some of the largest democracies of the world, and therefore it is but natural for them to come together, align themselves with each other in the future. Do you think India will have to bide time up until the next 3.5 4 years till the Trump era gets over for results, constructive alignment to once again resume between India and America, in terms of both countries looking at each other as natural partners, and to strengthen as well as elevate the trade relationship and bilateral relationship with each other?
I don't think so, Megha. The elections in the US are every 2 years, when the entire House of Representatives, the lower house like our Lok Sabha, goes in for voting, and that is due in November 2026. And then the upper house, the Senate, 1/3 of the Senate goes in for vote. Now, if your margins in both the Senate and the House of Representatives is very thin for the Republicans, in favor of the Republicans today, and if they are in danger of losing that thin margins and Democrats taking over, then the impeachment of the current president, all those issues will start arising by November or December 2026, which is just about 1 year away. So those threats are going to loom larger. Many of the Republicans are going to speak out in favor of better relations with India, like we have already seen so many leaders already making a lot of statements. So to that extent, that voice is only going to increase, and they are going to, sort of make it clear that this sort of path cannot continue, this sort of, action or relation with India, where you are worsening the relationship with the largest and the oldest mother of all democracies, which is India, and you try to imbalance the relationship, you try to disturb the relationship, you try to disrupt the relationship with some imaginary sort of, benefits which you will get from Pakistan, which you assume you will get from Pakistan, which is never going to happen. So, but the people are going to realize that there are more and more people in the policy making level, in the geostrategic community, in the other areas, who are going to start writing and talking about it more and more, and the pressure will only continue to increase. We are now in August 2025. By August 2026, you will see a reversal of the entire policy. So not 3.5 years or so, it's less than a year that all these policies will come back on an even keel, because geostrategically, geopolitically, it is very essential for America to have a very good relationship with India, and geopolitics and geostrategy cannot work without trade. So trade and economic relations will automatically have to improve if we have to continue to have very good relations in the sphere of geostrategy and geopolitics. So it's going
Right.
to happen within a year. So we have to bide our time.